Okay, it's 12:01. Let's get going. Um yeah, here we go. Weekend is coming up. For me, it's a super busy weekend and a good reminder uh, for this one of these you know mantras or sayings is comparison is the thief of joy. And the way I interpret that is sort of what actually happens in reality is obviously oftentimes very different than what we think should be happening. And our mind has this tendency to compare what's actually happening with what we thought should happen. And that can either, for the most part, it then results in us feeling somehow disappointed. So, hence, this idea of comparison is the thief of joy. When I compare what's actually happening right now to what I told myself should be happening, for the most part, it results in a kind of either disappointment. Sometimes it can be self-berating. It could be like, oh, I should have done this differently, or so on. And quick reminder: we have this negativity bias in the brain, and the cards are somewhat stacked against positivity. So all the more reason for us to do this thing that we do here. So one way to think of it is like negativity is Velcro in the brain. So when negativity happens, it sticks and we fixate on it, we ruminate, and we really engage in it. And then on the flip side, when someone, I don't know, pays us a compliment or something positive happens, we're like, yeah, yeah, whatever. Okay, let's move on. Right. So a good example of that would be uh, I, in a former career, spent a lot of time facilitating workshops and sort of group sessions at Fortune 500 companies, and invariably there would be evaluations that would be submitted afterwards. And in my experience, for the most part, they'd be really good, but there'd always be like one or two people that had something critical to say. And of course, my mind would glom onto like, oh my gosh, that was a failure. That was terrible. They all thought this, that, and the other thing. And I would completely forget that, wait a second, but there were, like 28 other people that said really positive things. But my mind had this tendency to go and focus on, you know, th- the two evaluations that were maybe less than stellar, or less than positive. So good thing to know about just the way our neurobiology works. There's really good, I think, evolutionary reasons for why that happens. And the ratio is about 1 to 5. And this is based on a bunch of interesting research that I can't get into now. But the idea being for every 5 positive things that we experience, there's one negative thing that can sort of recalibrate the scales, if you will. And so when we know that, we can then do what we're doing here in these positivity sessions, which is to say, well, let's train our brain to become increasingly familiar with what it's like to feel positivity, so that we can just kind of just even out the scales. And the underlying process there is neuroplasticity, and specifically this process called synaptogenesis. So the growth or the formation of synaptic connections in the brain, um, that determine whatever the subjective experience is. And if we want more positivity, well, then we need to spend more time stimulating those neural networks that allow us to have the subjective experience of, oh, I'm safe, this feels positive, I'm okay, and so on and so forth. So I thought for today, let's head into the weekend, activating activating some of these positivity networks, and but keeping in mind in the background that this is the neurobiology that we're stuck with. It just is what it is. And by focusing or stimulating those synaptic connections that allow us to feel positivity, we're actually really investing. We're like making a deposit in the positivity bank account, if you will. So let's go ahead and close our eyes and and connect with the intention to be kind and compassionate towards ourselves. Eyes wide open, we're acknowledging that, we can't experience this life without a body and a brain that is subject to these rules, if you will, of sort of evolutionary pressure to focus on negativity and so forth. Right here, right now, we're going to just take a few minutes to acknowledge that. I know that all of us have this tendency to focus more on problems and issues and negativity. It's not actually a problem unless we buy into it. So right here, right now, we're just going to focus on the simplicity of breathing, sitting quietly, and really feel into the sense of togetherness. We're all doing this together because we want something, we want a different experience of life than maybe our biology is predisposed to. So we're setting the intention for positivity, we're putting the effort in, we're showing up. Now, all of the things that we practice, mindfulness, so being present, non-judgmentally, being able to focus our attention on where we want our attention to be rather than where our nervous system has this tendency to just naturally go. So focusing on what is right, good in this moment, right here, right now. We're safe, we're together, body is breathing, heart is beating, our skin is protecting us, the liver and kidneys are doing filtering and processing. It's all happening for us right here, right now. It doesn't mean that there isn't pain, that there are issues for us to engage with, things for us to do. Doesn't negate any of that. It's just a reminder that It's also all working just as it should right here, right now. In my experience, most quote unquote problems that we feel like we need to deal with are the results of our mind comparing what we think should be happening with what is actually happening. A mentor of mine once shared that, reality for the most part is much kinder than our thoughts about reality. So the more we can drop into just right here, right now, I'm safe, I'm okay. And we can notice that maybe what the mind is telling us should be happening instead. It's just that. It's just thoughts, just ideas. So just breathing, sitting, in direct contact with what's actually happening right now, and just noticing the goodness in it. It's okay. Take a deep breath in through the nose, slow exhale through the mouth, relaxing the belly and the chest, shoulders. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep inhale through the nose. And as you exhale slowly through the mouth, see if you can just exercise some control, managing the exhale. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes. Come on back to the session. I feel like I could have kept on going there for another 15, 20 minutes, but we're out of time. So hope that's a quick and yet gentle reminder that, yeah, notice when the mind is comparing what's actually happening to some fantasy about what should be happening or should have happened, and just notice how if you keep coming back to what's actually happening, it's usually better than the mental chatter. So hope that was helpful. All right, everyone, have a great weekend. Hope to see you on Monday. Peace. Take care.